In the heart of the nation, there's a spark that ignites. Mona Miller, a patriot in the brightest of lights. A veteran of battles, both seen and unseen. With a smile like sunshine, she's people's queen. Mona Miller, with wisdom to share. A buck tussler of joy beyond compare. She'll challenge propaganda with a grin so wide. A beacon of hope in this turbulent time. From the times of her service to the streets that she roams, Mona spreads laughter like seeds she has sown. With a twinkle in her eye and a joke on her lips, she's a warrior for happiness in a world that often slips. Mona Miller, a light in the dark. With her kindness and humor, she leaves her mark. In the battle for joy, she'll never back down. A true buck hustler and a smile waved around. The trials and hardships, she stood tall with a heart full of love. She answers the call, for Mona knows the power of a smile sincere. She'll share it with all spreading cheer. Mona Miller, a force to behold. In the fight for happiness, she's bold. With her laughter and grace, she leads the way. A true buck hustler, come what may. So here's to Mona Miller in her quest to bring cheer. Symbol of joy, a world that's soft and drear. May her laughter sound in the hearts of all she meets. Mona Miller, a buck tussler sweet.
Well, howdy, all. How you doing this evening? Yes, sirree, it's another day in the old planet Earth. Yes, sirree. By the way, folks, I've got some rules for those of you who are mods. Please read them. We have a 3 strikes you're out rule here, folks, in the chat. We're going to be respectful. We're not going to put anyone down or belittle anyone. And we're going to always attempt to respect others' opinions and others' positions. Now, I have the 3 strikes out rule. If you get caught breaking these rules, you will be hidden. The next time, you will be timed out. And the third time, well, you're gone forever. The 3 strikes you're out rule. So everybody be kind to one another and respect one another, please, while you're here. And I don't like cussing. So, okay. Anyway, let's see who we have here. Okay. We got Miss Angie and Dev and Mr. Chris Oldman. How you doing? All right. Everybody. All right. Tonight's subject is kindness is contagious. And I'm going to give you some examples of that. I remember being about 9 years old, and I'd walk the streets there in Kansas City, and I went past the Vest Soda Bottling Company, and them fellas is all sitting out there on lunch break. And I probably did a tap dance or told a story or a joke or something. But one of them fellas up and handed me an orange Vest Soda. Gave it to me for free. I thought that was so good I could get an orange soda right from the soda factory. Those fellers were so nice. And the next day, I knew that they was going to be working, and I knew what time they went to lunch. So I asked my mom. My mama made some really, really good tuna salad sandwiches. She did a good job on that. And we always had fresh fruit in the house. And I told her how many fellas was there working. And I said, Mama, can I please take them lunch? Because it felt good. It felt good to do something for someone else. And I was so happy when Mama handed me my bag and I took off on my bicycle and I went down to Best Soda Battling Company there in Kansas City off 12th and Benton Boulevard, 12th Street. And I went down there and them fellas was all sitting out there and I gave them all a piece of fruit and a tuna fish sandwich. Cut in half for them already. Mama wrapped it up good. And you know, it felt so good to do that. And guess what? I got me not one, but I got me 2 orange soda bottles. And you know what? When I finished my orange soda, they took me into that plant. And they showed me how I could take my soda bottle, my empty soda bottle, and I could put it up on this here conveyor belt. And I got to watch my soda bottle go all the way through, get washed and clean, and then I got to see it get orange soda put back in it, and then they capped it and they took it off the line and they gave it to me. It was my first bottling of orange soda. It was fun. You know, I liked it. Yes, I'll go back and watch that, Miss Angie. I think I already seen this commercial from today, but I'll check it out. Thank you very much. Okay. But I did. I liked them. So that was one of my favorites. And, you know, kindness is contagious. And I never seen it more prevalent than right here in Branson, Missouri. Back when Branson first began to boom, about 93, I think we put in 10 theaters that year and about 50 different motels and a whole mess of condos. But we didn't have the infrastructure for that. So we ended up with what was called a traffic jam. Yeah, you was lucky if you moved 6 miles an hour on 76. It was basically bumper to bumper, but it gave you time to see everything that was there. Well, people would start it. They'd see somebody trying to get out into the traffic, and they'd just stop, and they'd wave them in. When they'd wave them in, they'd come in and get in the line, ain't moving very fast. And next thing you know, you look up ahead, and they stopped, and they's letting somebody else out. And it ends up being a chain reaction all the way down 76. There was no horn honking. No one was putting out a pretty finger. No one was screaming and yelling. It was beautiful to see how kindness is contagious. And if you do something for someone, not because it's their birthday, not because it's Christmas or a special holiday get together, but just out of the blue, for no reason at all, you make an extra casserole and you deliver it to a neighbor you ain't never met. Go up and ring the doorbell and say, hey, I just wanted you to have a good day. Especially if you see that person coming to and from work, you know that they're tired. And you know what? That'll come back to you. And it'll pass on down the block to the next person and the next person. It's contagious. And I thought that, we could start a pandemic of kindness. Wouldn't that be wonderful if we could do something super kind for someone who's totally unexpecting it, and they turn around and do something kind to 2 other people, and those 2 people do something kind to 2 other people? Couldn't we create our own kind of pandemic by asking folks to just be kind to one another? and do something to, you know, I get such a thrill when I have the extra money and I can go through the drive-through fast food place, and I look back behind me and I can't afford much. So I always take a gander behind me as who's pulling in behind me. And if it's just like one single older person or something that I know that I can afford whatever it is that they ordered, chances are I like to pull up to the window and they say, how much is the bill for the car behind me? And they'll tell me. And I'll go, okay, I'll pay that one too. Let them know when they pulled up that I paid it forward. And I talked to one of those ladies at the fast food store after I had done that, and she said that that went on for about 10 cars. 10 times somebody got a warm fuzzy. The warm fuzzy you get from doing something for someone else, and the warm fuzzy you get from receiving a gift like that from someone else. It wouldn't hurt none of us to sometimes pay for the car behind us in line, or pick up a tab for someone that's probably struggling to pay, wanted to eat out, okay, didn't know how to cook or whatever, and all of a sudden they find out you paid their bill. I've had that done to me a few times, and it's the most wonderful feeling. I see that there's 8 people watching this, so 8, if each of you 8 people did something kind to 2 others, and all you asked in return was they do something kind to someone else, The Pay It Forward was a great movie. Absolutely great movie. It ended bad, but it was still a very great movie. And I think that we need to try to find some way that we can make that happen in our own neighborhood. I know that there's a lady that lives here in my RV park called Pat. She's in her 80s, and she goes and works at the senior center. She volunteers there 5 days a week. And I know that she ain't going to want to cook on a Sunday. Well, I put a roast in the crock pot. I don't have to do much. Just add some carrots and some onions, potatoes. And it's always more than I can eat. And it just gives me a good, warm, fuzzy feeling when I call her up and I say, hey, Pat, you hungry? I got fresh roast down here. Yeah. And I got strawberry shortcake to go with it. Yeah, come on down. I'll give, I've got it all ready for you. Just come on down and pick it up. And she does. And I know it makes her day. I see the smile on her face. Okay. Nice hot meal, and she didn't have to cook it. And some nice strawberry shortcake or a dish of ice cream to go to take it down with. I love doing that. It's fun. I like cooking. And anyone knows me will tell you I enjoy cooking. Okay. And cooking for just one person is the pits. So I cook for me and half the park most of the time. I'll take it up and tell everybody as I'm going up to the clubhouse, hey, I got food up here. I got dip up here. Hey, I just baked a cake. There's a whole bunch left. Go up and get you a piece of cake or a pie. But yeah, hosting a barbecue. Okay, hosting a barbecue for the neighborhood, Of course, I don't know the way meat prices are, During coon season, I might host a coon barbecue. I could probably afford 25 cents for a bullet. But, well, no, bullets are about $1 a piece these days, aren't they? So, it isn't hard. I mean, my friend Kelly, Coffee and Crafting with Kelly, she always ends her show with be kind to one another. We could be kind to one another. Yeah, you pay $40, but what do you get back from that? You put out a little. The thing is that I get quite a bit because I've done a lot of stockpiling in my house of food. So I get quite a bit on my healthy food card and my food stamps. And a lot of times it just feels good to buy a few extra pounds of hamburger or a couple extra packages of hot dogs and buns and just put a sign up and say, hey, we're having a cookout. Come on over, grab you a hamburger or a hot dog, visit. Let's get to know one another, which is kind of easy in my RV park because everybody's new every week. I'm not visiting with the same people. They're all from all over the country, and it's kind of nice to just meet strangers, and that's what bug tussling's all about. Bug tussling is the art of making a stranger smile. It's not hard to do. In fact, it's really easy for me because I just look at him and I take my lower lip and I pull it up over my nose and smile. And they always do. I like acting a fool in Walmart. I mean, not a crazy fool, but a comedy kind of fool in Walmart. I remember as a kid, my girlfriend and I, we went to Indian Springs Mall in Kansas City, Kansas. And we was going to see just what people would do if we did something really strange. So I saw where on the bottom of the escalator there was some paint chipped off. And I stopped and went, wow, look at that. Oh my goodness, it looks like a Renoir. And Sherry come over and she goes, no, Mona, that's a Salvador Dali if I ever seen one. Are you sure? And we're watching out our peripheral vision. And everybody walking past us is looking up at this paint spot on the underneath side of the roof of the escalator. It was funny. Watch all these people. What are they looking at? Man, what are they looking at? It was fun. And then they had we turned around and went on down the mall and a little ways, and there was this water fountain, this fountain thing that you had a walkway that went across it. Well, we sat down on the walkway, and she watched the people walking behind me, and I was watching the people walking behind her, and we was playing patty cake. It was just a smiling and a laughing and playing hands, Oh, say, oh, Mammy, come play outside with me. However the song goes, I don't remember it anymore. But we do the clap and stuff. And the people, the looks on their faces, oh my goodness, they smiled and laughed, and it was wonderful. And then there was this place called Woolworths. And Woolworths had windows that faced the inside of the mall, and people would sit in there in their restaurant and sit down and eat. We wanted to see the reaction of the people. They got their food put in front of them. And Sherry and I both walked up and stuck our nose right on that windowsill, on that window, and looked in at them eating, going, oh, They'd seen us, and they'd turn around and try not to look out the window, but yet they couldn't help but look out as we're going, with every bite of food they were taking. It was fun. Had a great time. Just doing something silly and stupid that made people eventually smile. Okay. Now the people around him was smiling like crazy but those people was a little put out. But I remember those things quite well in my memory because they were fun. They made people smile, raised a little bit of what I like to call positive energy into the room. And if we could do that more often, not with the people we know, don't limit yourself to just someone that you know. The whole art of bug tussling is to make a stranger smile. Someone you've never met. Sometimes that's as easy as saying, wow, I like that dress. Or, boy, I love the way your hair is. That's just beautiful. Okay? Sometimes it just takes a simple compliment that somebody might need that. They might need that little piece. You don't know what's going on in their lives. You don't know what they've been through. But if you could just create a moment of positive energy in their lives, who knows where that will take them. Okay? Maybe they had a job interview and they was really feeling like, oh, I hope I hadn't more this stress. I hope everything goes right. And they're all worried. And you walk up to them and say, ma'am, you sure look nice today. And walk on. That little boost of confidence could be the difference between getting a job and not getting. You'll never know. But it can't hurt. So tonight I'm going to do a story. Okay? I'm going to see if I can make you all laugh. Okay? Okay. This here story, some of you probably heard it, but I'm going to tell it again. And this is called The Fly. Have you ever sat around watching your favorite show when a big, black, ugly fly lands right there on your nose? You don't know where the swatter is. You forgot where you laid it down. It don't matter anyway. Once you get it in your hand, that fly ain't nowhere around. I was sitting at the table, preparing to eat some fresh baked cornbread, some taters and some meat. Well, I had my knife in one hand, and my bread, it was in the other. When here come that big, black, ugly fly. He was tap dancing in my butter. And I picked up the swatter. And that fly went away. Oh, I was out to get him that day. As soon as I could find him, that fly was going to meet his doom. But every time I picked up the swatter, the fly up and left the room. But last night, I was retiring. I was laying there in the bed when here come that big, black, ugly fly. He went buzzing right around my head. Oh, I was going to fool him. I knew what to do. Why, instead of looking for that swatter, I just picked up a shoe. And that old fly, he was lost. He didn't know what to do. And I got him. Yeah, I did. I squished him right there in the bed. Bet he ain't got guts enough to go buzzing around anybody else's head. Good night.